Welcome in. Good afternoon. It's the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined today by my co-host, Curtis Phillips, a.k.a. Philly Picks, our handicapper here on the show, as we take you down till 6 o'clock, per usual, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Friday. We've got a couple of changes having happened on the Big X. As we know, the three-man front is the new 5:30 to 6:30 time slot show on the Big X on Thursdays, so the Ticket Punchers get moved now, unfortunately, but we will still be streaming for you guys on Thursdays, just on the YouTube and on the X side of things. Definitely willing to give the that slot up to Matt Childress so he can run that new UFL Louisville Kings show that we have here on the Big X. But Philly, no JR with us here today, just you and I as we look into the night of sports and the weekend of betting as well, looking to get those punches all solidified and ready. How are you today, sir? And how are you how are you faring getting ready for this weather they're saying we've got coming?
I'm doing good, Roman. And honestly, living in Louisville, Kentucky, we always kind of over prepare for the snow. You see grocery stores pretty crowded. I'm like I'll see it. Like once I see it, I'll believe it when I see it, I should say. So
that's how I am. That's exactly how I am.
Yeah.
And maybe we shouldn't be. Maybe this is going to finally bite us one day being like that with this mindset. As long as there's something to eat in that house, in the house I'm in, I feel like things that I can make, I should be good. I do kind of feel the fear that I need to maybe get a couple of things that I can make on top of a fire if need be. And we've got that. We've got some meat. We've got some things. I do believe it's going to snow. I just, and I believe it's going to be a lot of snow. Is it going to be, do I personally think it's going to be 8 to 10 inches of snow and then another 10 inches of ice on top of that? Not really. Just because I haven't gotten to see something like that in my lifetime, it's harder for me to believe that when I've been told a couple of times throughout the last 5 or 10 years or so that it's going to be something like that. And it's really just a fraction, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. I do have to get my, water just in case the pipes freeze. If they say it's going to get freezing cold and not get back up. So I got to make sure we've got a few jugs of water just in case. I haven't done that yet. I'll have to do that after work. Outside of that, not a whole lot I'm doing differently, Philly. Making sure I've got some firewood and make sure I've got some water in case the sinks mess up, because I always keep some food that you can cook on a fire if need be. Outside of that, I'm ready to punch some tickets. Hopefully we don't lose power and every sporting event nearby doesn't get canceled and we don't have anything to bet on anyways, but we know we'll have the NFL the weather not going to stop them. And we also will have the NBA this weekend. Maybe something in the region gets canceled or delayed this weekend, potentially with like a Pacers game or a Memphis game or a Milwaukee game or something like that. Chicago as well. I could see, but there's still going to be plenty of things to get our punches on. Philly, let's just get right into it. We don't have a lot of time to waste. We don't have a break on this show. We have to get all of our talk from start to finish out there. We've got the conference championships this Sunday. Talk us through that. Chat with us. So just where are the lines at? Have we had any line moving going on? I think we had one line move on the games this weekend. How are we looking into these two games so far? We've asked this every day. We've been looking. Not a whole lot new yet, but maybe there's some player props or something you want to pinpoint, Philly.
Yeah, we've seen some mild movement, especially in the New England Patriots versus the Denver Broncos game. Opened up around 5.5. I've seen a few books down to 3.5, but most books I've seen are steady at that 4.5 range. Weather won't be a huge factor in either game. It will be cold in Denver. It's supposed to be the coldest game that the Patriots have played all season. It'll be around 17 degrees at kickoff with a little bit of wind chill, wind gusts up to 10 miles per hour, but I don't think that'll be much of a factor. And yeah, in the second game with the Rams and Seahawks, kickoff's going to be in the low 40s.
Yeah.
And it'll drop to the mid 30s by game time. Not a lot of wind, so shouldn't be a factor in that game. And I've seen Tua, the books, the lines open up around 3.5 in that game. I've seen 2.5, so some spot in some books. So
I'm seeing FanDuel and DraftKings kind of hit the 2.5 mark.
Yeah.
3.5 in that one all day long. With what we saw with these two teams when they played each other earlier in the season, Philly, a 1-point victory on one side, a 2-point victory on the other side. These teams have been both good in the playoffs already as well. I think that this is going to be a close game. I think that no matter what, Matt Stafford's going to know what he has to do in that second half. If they are at a deficit, I think they at least get there. He's going to try to give his field goal kicker a chance in this one. And that ultimately give me the plus 3.5 in that one. I'm going to go heavy on the plus 3.5. I'll look stupid if it doesn't hit, but I don't think the Rams lose by 4 points or more in this game, Curtis. I think that they've proven they can run the ball when they need to. It's not consistent like you want it to be for a Super Bowl-esque team. You know, when Blake Corum started getting more touches, they looked good with like a little bit of a two-man punch, a dual partnership kind of situation with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. It's shifted back to what it was before, where Kyron's going to get the majority of the snaps. Blake's going to come in for certain situations. A healthy Devontae Adams, a healthy Puka Nacua, and a healthy Matt Stafford in not freezing, frigid, cold weather. That offense is going to get the points up on the board. It's just a matter of if their defense can get the extra stops that they need. I know it's the best defense in the Seahawks we've seen all season long. It's the best quarterback we've seen all season long too, Philly.
That is true.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Right? Not in the playoffs, though, I don't think. But
true. That's fair. Not the same Matt Stafford we've seen in the playoffs, while we've seen the Seahawks defense take an uptick in play in the playoffs like you would want, which I didn't even think was possible. But I still ultimately are going to go. If Sam Darnold's in a close game situation, Rams defense isn't bad. I know it's not at the same tier of the Seahawks, but they can hold their own. If you can force a turnover in this game, I think that leads you into a nice situation later on in the game. If you're the Rams, extra possession could mean the whole difference in this game. Because there's probably not going to be – I mean, I wouldn't think that there's going to be too many punts in this one. You saw the way Kenneth Walker looked in their last game. His line's gone outrageous now that Charbonnet's been announced as out. Did you see it, Philly? I saw 85.5 yards. That's a lot. And, I mean, I think he gets well over 60, right? So – I don't know about 85.5, but I kind of wanted to take a look into player props for this weekend going into these two games. Are there some props both with any receivers or maybe a rushing prop player-wise that you can't wait to bet? You know you love it. You know you're ready to make it a part, maybe even a parlay as well because of any research, whatever it may be. What's a player prop you're really excited about in these two conference championship games this Sunday?
Yeah, I'm not on too many props this weekend. I know you mentioned Kenneth Walker. I was leaning into his under rushing and receiving. It was around 110.5. I know Charbonnet's out, but this just seems like an inflated number. We're getting into Christian McCaffrey territory when we're talking about that 110.5. So I was leaning towards the under on that. But I like Jared Stidham in that first game. Over 19.5 completions at minus 120. I know this is kind of an unknown. We haven't seen him all year other than the preseason, but even in the preseason games, he had the highest PFF grade out of any quarterback in his two preseason games. He went 14 of 15 with 2 touchdowns in his first game. That was in 3 quarters. And then the second game, he went 16 of 23 with 2 touchdowns, and that was only in a half of football. So I think he'll check it down to his running backs a lot in this one, a lot of short completions. We saw Sean Payton have Bo Nix throw the ball 46 times last week. The running backs only had 10 combined carries. So I don't think just because Stidham's in here that he's just going to go to the run game. The Broncos,
I don't think so either.
Yeah, the Broncos' run game, since they lost J.K. Dobbins, they haven't been really efficient at all. So I think Sean Payton still trusts Jared Stidham. I think he can get to 20 completions. So I like that at minus 120. That was the first one I was looking at. And then, yeah, like I said, the Kenneth Walker win, I'll probably take a stab at his rushing receiving under. I think that's a bit inflated, even with Charbonnet out. So those were the main two that I was looking at.
I've got two I like as well in that first game in particular. I'm on Cortland Sutton, 40-plus receiving. Now, I don't know how the completions are going to look for Stidham. I know who his go-to guy is going to be, though. And if he can get Cortland at least 4 receptions, I think one of those will be a 20 to 25-yard reception, or could be, right? Definitely he'll have at least one 15-yard completion to Cortland Sutton. He should. Sutton's been great all season long when he's been healthy. I think that ultimately, though, the 40-plus line at minus 150, I believe, is a good line for Cortland in this one. I also like Jared Stidham on the rushing yards, Philly. You know the New England Patriots are going to be sending their blitz. They got the most pressure so far in the playoffs already. Backup quarterback who doesn't have the in-game reps and confidence right now that you know a starting quarterback would. Going to try to get it out of there quick. Going to try to throw maybe some, or not try, but he could potentially put him in a spot where he throws a couple errant throws because he's got a hand in his face or he's getting knocked down while he throws it. We've seen that already from the Patriots. I think that leads to Stidham trying to get up out of there once he realized that it's coming. I think 15-plus rushing yards is it kind of seems like right where it should be. I was hoping that the odds would be lower for 10-plus. I think he'll have 2 or 3 rushes where he's just trying to keep a play alive, gets 3 or 4 yards, and he'll maybe have one long rush up the middle where he goes and gets. I think he covers this line in one rush throughout the game at some point. Whatever his longest rush is, I should probably jump on that as well since I think that. But just because that's what kind of the Broncos offense has allowed for at certain moments. If you could eliminate every playmaker, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, you're told to go, right? And I think Stidham will do the same thing this weekend. Let's look into this other game, though, Philly, because we didn't chat as much about that one as we did the Patriots and Broncos. You did say you were looking into Kenneth Walker and the under. I wanted to ask you specifically about the receivers. Is there a way you can play these 2 receivers for the Rams, or is it too risky? You never know if it's going to be Adams that's going to get the 3 long targets in a game, or is it going to be the short game with Puka Nacua where he's just getting 8-yard catch after 8-yard catch after 8-yard catch. It's probably going to be a combination of the 2 things if you ask Matt Stafford, but I don't like betting either one of these guys just because it seems like it's risky with such high numbers. If one of them gets hot, you know he feeds the hot hand as well. Are you even touching the receivers for the Rams in this game, or either side with the Seahawks as well?
I'll say, if anything, I'd take Puka over Devontae. We've seen Devontae get more of the red zone target, so if you like his touchdown, maybe take that at a little bit of plus money. But Puka, that's the main guy that Stafford's going to be targeting in each and every game. So I'm not mad at it. Maybe take his alt line down a little bit with JSN on the other side for Seattle and try to find you a little plus money and just go at it like that. I'm not mad at either one of those. So,
all right, I like it. But ultimately, like we mentioned, I think that the way that these 2 lines look, I think you get great juice on the plus 3.5 in favor of the Rams. If you think they can keep this one close or win, that's where I'm at. And I think that the Broncos now with this line moving down to 4.5 gives you better juice on the 2.5 if you want to keep it super safe. But I like whatever that line is minus about 1, just because Vegas knows something I don't. You see 4.5, I'm okay with the odd shift on 3.5, right? I think the game's going to end. They're going to win by 4 somehow, some way. Wouldn't be surprised if they blew them out either, just because it is a backup quarterback. But Bo Nix, in my opinion, like, that defense sets them up for success so often. He didn't have to get asked to do crazy things out there so often for the Broncos to still have success in a lot of their games. I think they're going to probably not waver so much from their regular play style, Philly. And if they can do that and still get down the field, they could potentially cover. But I think the Patriots win this one comfortably. We did get a text in. I actually like Stidham, and I'm loving the Broncos on Sunday. I think 4.5 home dog is a ridiculous line, even with Stidham. That's
I
from
I
Lazard
agree.
guy. You agree? So you think I'm wrong?
Yeah, I'm on the other side, Roman. I think the books overreacted a little bit. I think that's why you've seen this line go down, and we're seeing the 3.5s in some places. Home underdogs, they cover at a pretty high rate in the playoffs, especially. And what we've seen, I think in the playoffs, Drake May, he hasn't looked like that MVP caliber Drake May that we've seen all season. I think his defense has carried him. He's had 6 fumbles, he's lost 3 of those, and 2 interceptions in 2 games. And he's got sacked 10 times, which is five a game in the 2 games that he's played. And it's not going to get any easier going against the Broncos defense, who has the most sacks by far in the NFL. So I think Broncos defense can kind of give some short fields to Stidham to where he doesn't have to be the hero. I think Broncos keep this close. I really do. So like I said the other day, I do think Broncos cover. I could see New England still winning in between that 4, maybe win by 3 or 4, but I do think the Broncos ultimately keep this one close. They've been playing in close games all year. I think Stidham, it's still going to be the same game plan. So yeah, I'm on the other side.
All right. I mean, there it is. You're scaring me. You've talked me out of this 4.5. It feels like I need to be weary of it and just rock with the Patriots minus 2.5, like what I originally thought was gonna happen before the Bo Nix injury. 3-point field goal kind of a victory in favor of the Patriots. It's seated at minus 186 right now. I guess I'm gonna rock with that. The minus 2.5 for the Patriots.
Man. Go for gut.
Yeah, the 3-point victory on both ends. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the Rams win by 3, even though I'm taking the plus 3.5. I do think that they win by 3, and I think that before Bo Nix went down, I thought that the Patriots were going to have a 3-point victory or so because of the Broncos defense. So that's what we're going to rock with. No other player props you want to get into and look at, Philly?
No other props for me. I'm going light. It's been a rough NFL season for me, so I'm going light.
No team total? I didn't look at the Rams or Seahawks team total in this one. I wanted to see Seahawks total points is 23.5. You can catch right now. Rams, I'm not sure. I would assume that it's 21.5 or 20.5 for the Rams. So
yeah, no team totals as of right now. I think in that Denver and New England game, maybe I'll look at some kicker props because Will Lutz and Patriots kicker, they've been kicking a lot of field goals lately. The red zone defenses, both red zone defense have been fairly good, which has led to a lot of field goals. So if I get an over 1.5 or even an over 2.5 with Will Lutz for the Broncos field goals, I'll probably take a stab at that as well.
Lazar Guy, appreciate your text. If you're on anything else that we haven't talked about yet or addressed, Lazar Guy, send that in on our Game Day Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. Or if you're watching on X and or YouTube right now, you can send them in on the chat. We can see them, and we can talk about those as well. Philly, before we get into our picks for tonight in the NBA chatter for the end of the show, program note, obviously we're not going to be on Monday. We will try to get a live stream out in the daytime Monday, just depending on what the weather looks like. I think that with Louisville playing Duke that night, we definitely need to give out some talk and picks on that game as well if we find some time Monday, if weather allows for it. But I want to ask you about the college basketball slate this weekend, Philly, whether that's tonight, tomorrow, or even on Sunday, which there shouldn't be anything good on Sunday. Louisville playing tomorrow against West Virginia. Game has been moved up to 2:15. No Kanai Roos, it sounds like, at the moment. I don't think he'll be in this one. And we don't have word on Michael Brown Jr. yet in that game either. However, Cardinals still 11.5-point favorites at home in the KFC Yum Center in this one. Curtis, do you think that they can get the job done and cover that 11.5 points? Do you think that we need to be weary of that without Michael Brown? How do you see this one unfolding with the way that Virginia Tech and the Cards have looked in their last handful?
Well, I think this line has went up in the past hour because
Really?
It was 10. Well, it was 10.5. I'm saying when in the last few hours, so it has ticked up to 11.5, which you just mentioned. But I don't love playing the 11.5 honestly with Louisville VTech. they've had some shaky games against opponents they should have blown out, but they've also beat a good Virginia team in 3 overtimes on their home floor, and they've played pretty well on the road. I know Louisville's pretty good home team. I wouldn't lay the 11.5. I do think we come out with a victory, but I think 11.5 is too much to lay. This Virginia Tech team has shooters. They have the physicality. I think they can hang within that 11.5. So I wouldn't touch the spread, but I do think you can sprinkle maybe Louisville on the money line on a parlay.
Yeah, I have three. I have two that I really like for this weekend. Call me crazy. I've hated on them all year long. I do think Purdue wins on their home floor tomorrow night against not tonight. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., Purdue does host Illinois. I think they get a victory there. Baylor hosts TCU tomorrow on their home floor. I think Baylor gets a victory in that one. In the ACC side of things, I think the Cards win, Philly. I don't know if they cover the 11.5, but I do think it's right there. I predicted a 91 to 79 victory, which would technically be right around the covering mark, depending on what it ends up, if it's 10.5 or 11.5. I do think the Cards win. I think that they win comfortably, and I think it's right there in that range because of some late scoring, some backups, some up and down play with guys trying to get some shots up. Not necessarily the reserves, but just a couple of guys in there at the end to keep it safe for us. I do think that we should be able to win this one, though, pretty comfortably, even without Michael Brown and Kenai Roost. I like some of the matchups of Dallas for the Virginia Tech side. Baby Luka, baby Igor Dimon, hybrid-esque kind of a player. Not that great of a shooter. Kind of will throw some turnovers. He's a tough matchup. And then Hinsberry down low is a tough one for Javon Hadley. But the way that these guys looked against Pitt, the way that they've seemed like they were turned it up a notch on the effort level, they know it's do or die for their season if they want to get a good seed in the NCAA tournament. And it starts with stringing some wins together right now, which I do think they will go and do. Give me the Cards in that one. Give me the Cards by 11 in that one. I think Florida State covers the 12.5 against SMU. And I think Boston College goes to show that Notre Dame's worse than them. Betting on 3 of the worst teams in the ACC there with those plays. But I give me Boston College to cover the plus 7.5. Give me Florida State to cover the plus 12.5. Both of those teams on the road this Saturday. Philly, we've got to get into tonight's plays. Before we do look into tonight's punches for us and our officials, do you have your triple punch parlay piece ready? Because I've got mine and we've got JR's.
Yeah, we can get into it. Is it fine if it's technically not for until Sunday for the NFL game, but
that's perfect. That's fine. We've got some straight bets as well from Matt Childress sending his plays in for Sunday on top of that. So we'll go ahead and add Matt to the tally. I'm sorry. That's JR. That's JR. Matt's just replying. Sorry about that. Incorrect. JR's got some plays for Sunday, but also got his triple punch. Go ahead, Philly.
Yep. I know you're on the Rams, Roman, but I'm going to take the Seahawks. We could technically both win this. I'm not taking them on the spread, just safe money line bet, minus 134 Seahawks to get to the Super Bowl. I think this defense has been one of the best all season. I think they can slow down Stafford. The Rams have not impressed me this playoffs, honestly. And Stafford, he had a great regular season, but he's been the worst. He's had the worst passer rating out of any quarterback in the playoffs, in this playoffs. And Seattle, historically, just a great home team in the playoffs, 13-4 all time. I think if Darnold, if he doesn't turn that ball over, even if he gets one, I think if he can limit the turnovers, I think Seahawks will win this. That's something he's done the past few games, and they've won pretty comfortably in all of them except for the Rams. But I think Seahawks find a way to get the win. So I'll lay the little juice for them to win.
I like it. I like it. I say that as someone who does know the chance of it happening and believes fully that the Seahawks are good enough to win this game. With that being said, I do want to naturally trust the offense. I think has the higher ceiling, higher floor as well in a game like this, which in my eyes, even with the struggles, the lack of accuracy Stafford's had in just the playoffs compared to what we saw in the regular season, offense is pretty damn similar, really, between the two, if I'm being honest. I still think that I like the plus 3.5, right? I think that the Rams should be able to keep it close. I know that this defense is serious. So many people are saying the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. I'm going to believe those people in the fact that they know that the Seahawks are this good and ultimately pick the Rams to cover and not win. So you're right. We can both win this one. I got the plus 3.5. You've got the money line. I'm not mad at that. That's your triple punch piece?
Yeah, that'll be my triple punch.
Okay, triple punch for Philly. For JR, his is in tonight's game, tonight's action. We have the Hawks playing. He's taking the Jalen Johnson under 7.5 assist. And you can catch that at – he sent us the odds here. And now I'm losing it at minus 158. He's grabbed the assist for Jalen Johnson on the under. I'm not mad at that. Jalen Johnson been scoring a little bit more, but he's also been assisting well. So he's had some games where he's gotten well up near this mark with 7.5 in a game like this tonight. That's just a little bit high for Jalen. I'm not mad at that play. And for my pick for tonight, I'm in the college basketball realm. We've been fading them all year, Philly. We've been fading them all year long. I'm not going to stop tonight. I am teasing, though, or I'm doing a little bit of a water down. Butler's 6.5-point favorites tonight on their home floor, one of the better teams in the Big East right now, going up against Marquette. Marquette sucks, and I mean that. They're not good. Give me Butler on the water down, minus 3.5. On the alternate spread in this one. I still think that they get the job done. But yeah, I don't think Marquette covers that. I don't think they keep it within 4. Give me Butler. That's going to be our triple punch piece and wrap us up on the radio side of things. Stay tuned on the YouTube and X stream, or carry over to the YouTube and X stream if you're on the radio side of things, for our official punches here before we wrap up things this Friday. This has been the Ticket Punchers on the radio here, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. Philly Picks, Roman Kelly. We'll be right back on the YouTube side of things right after this, and we'll be back next week on Tuesday on the radio. Philly, let's go punch those tickets.
Punch those tickets.
All right. Great radio side of the stream, Philly. Love that. Let's write this triple punch down real fast.
Butler minus 3.5. Johnson under 7.5 assists. I think it's the first time we faded him on the triple.
I know. That's the first fade on JJ all year long.
We're scared about that. Suns do have a good defense, though. So we're going to trust him.
I think he'll have to be a scorer tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had my play, the minus 3.5 for Butler.
Yeah, Seahawks money line.
I'm going to go ahead and make that an official punch as well, Philly, if you don't mind.
Which one is that?
Butler minus 3.5 for tonight.
Bet.
So I've got Cortland Sutton 40+, Stidham 15+ rushing. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. Kenneth Walker anytime TD at minus 155, a little bit higher than I would like, but there is a live bet boost we should get for this game. So maybe you throw it on that after that game started. Maybe if they don't even, if he doesn't, especially if he doesn't score on that first possession, jump on it because it should get closer to an even line or maybe even plus money. But Kenneth Walker, anytime TD, if they get close, it's not getting handed off to Charbonnet. So I like that play there at minus 155. I did have some NBA punches, Philly, but I wanted to see what you were rocking with tonight. Let us hear it.
Yep, didn't get into much, but that first game, Rockets and Pistons, of course, the twin brothers, Asar and Amin, going against each other. Asar hasn't really been scoring lately, but he had a good game last game. Ended up getting double digits, 12 points. His line is at 9.5. I think it's juiced a little bit, around minus 125 or so. I'm going to take him to get 10+ points. Going up against his twin. He's already had 19 this year versus Houston. I think he'll be a little bit more aggressive than he usually is going against his twin that he used to play with. So I like Asar to get 10+.
I like it. I like it. I got Jalen Duren 10-plus rebounds. Again, in this one, we're rocking with that same prop. They've dropped the odds on this a little bit, going up against a better Rocket defensive side or rebounding side in the Rockets. Minus 166 on Jalen Duren's 10-plus tonight. Found that one you might want to get in on that one right now if you're interested in that, because I don't think that stays at minus 166 in the next hour. I also like Devin Booker on an alternate line tonight, going up against ATL. I know they got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who does have that defensive ability to kind of give him a body, and they have different looks that they can show him with Dyson Daniels as well. That's just that's asking to me for the kind of night where Booker gets to the free throw line a bunch, maybe takes a few more jump shots than regular. If he can get going like he has been, though, as of late in this one, there's no reason he shouldn't get over this alt line. I've got 21.5 Philly at minus 188. Devin Booker on the over.
On his points, 20.5?
22.5, 21.5, 22 plus.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And then I've got another one I liked. Jalen Tyson's odds gone back down. Line's gone back down. They got him at 15.5 at minus 113.
Points and rebounds?
Just points.
Oh, that's right. Still love it.
I love it as well. I would probably take an alternate just because there's a chance for the blowout. You can get the alternate at a good spot right now. Minus 12.5 at minus 260, minus 13.5 at minus 192. I'm okay with those as well for Jalen Tyson. But those were really it. I like the Booker. I like the Jalen Duren. There's another, I try to, how we were fading basically fade the Grizzlies' best rebounder is what we do. It's Derek Queen tonight on the opposition side with Yves Messi playing and Zion Williamson also playing. You can't trust Derek Queen's rebounds. I like the 6+ though at minus 280 for a parlay piece. Okay. He covers the 6. He covers the 6 pretty much every single game, no matter what. Actually, I want to go see the last time he didn't. Let's see here. Oh, 2 games in a row. But before that, he had been on a streak covering it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 of his last 8 games he had covered it. So basically 7 of his last 10, he's met that mark. Minutes gone down in their last 2 games because they've gotten blown out. So if you don't think it's a blowout tonight against Memphis, then Derek Queen should get over the 6 rebound mark. But that's just a jab. That's just a jab. That's not an official punch. Any other officials for us, Philly?
Yeah, I have one more in college basketball. I like Arkansas, minus 9.5. LSU's in town. They do have their star guard back. He played limited minutes last game. Shot pretty bad. Still trying to get his legs under him. And Arkansas has just been a dominant team at home, especially since SEC play. But I think they're 12-0 at home, I want to say. But just in the SEC, beat Vandy 93-68, smacked South Carolina 108-74, killed Tennessee 86-75 in a game where Tennessee dominated the first 10 to 15 minutes of that game. So I think 9.5 is too low. Arkansas is way too good on their home floor. So that'll be my last official.
I got one more. You're going to like this one, Philly. We're in the NHL again tonight.
Okay.
The St. Louis Blues, 0-4 in their last 4 0-4 in their last 4 road games. Haven't won on the road in quite some time. Very bad road record. Going up against the Dallas Stars, have a good home record. Been pretty good at home this season. Dallas Stars they won their last game at home, but they had lost a couple before that on their home floor, which maybe you kind of go into it tonight. I don't know who the goalie is in this matchup but I'm just going off the trends on these two. Dallas minus 162 on the money line tonight, going up against the St. Louis Blues team that's just been absolutely abysmal on the road. Give me the Dallas Stars, Philly.
I love it. I'm gonna tell you on that. I'm gonna add it to a parlay piece. Them Stars.
That's kind of what all I've got. I do want to kind of just read Matt Childress, and Matt Childress had some picks. He's on Stephon Diggs receiving yards at 46 plus, and he's on the under 42.5 in the Patriots-Broncos game. How'd you feel about the under?
Patriots-Broncos, I'm not mad at that at all. Obviously,
I think it's a backdoor over. I think it's a late fourth quarter backdoor over. I'm worried about it. I'm scared of that under.
I mean, both defenses are very, very good. So, what is it sitting at?
42.5.
Yeah, that is. I could see a backdoor over on like a 42.5. Yeah.
A little 24-21 victory.
Yeah, I could definitely see a 21. Maybe a first half under. I feel like this could be.
Yes, that's a great read there. Great read there. We've seen what these teams look like in the first halves already in the playoffs. Yeah. It's not like they've gone crazy. Yeah. So I like that. I like a first half under there. Maybe we got to mention that to Matt. Our other handicapper here on the Ticket Puncher Show, Mr. J.R. Anderson. He's on the Colby Parkinson 25-plus receiving yards. I bet you that's a Lazard guy pick right there. Philly Lazard guy would like that one. He's also in the Kyron Williams 15-plus receiving yards. That sounds like a 2023 or 2024 Roman Kelly bet right there. Taking the running back for the team that's projected to have the less productive running back to get 15-plus receiving yards. Also a pass-heavy offense. We know what Kyron Williams – it's interesting because Kyron Williams specifically, that's a good play. I wouldn't normally take a 15-plus outside of somebody like a McCaffrey. Or like a Kamara in this kind of a spot, which Kamara hasn't been in this spot ever in his career. So, yeah, give me 2 plus 238 on the 2-leg if you wanted to pair him up as well. I like that. He says both straights. He says he's taking them both to straight. So
I love the Parkinson line.
Not bad there. Yeah, not bad there at all. But Philly, this is gonna wrap us up. I don't have anything else I want to add.
Yeah, me neither. It's just crazy. Football season's almost done with. 3 games left combined, so
nuts.
It's crazy. Yeah, full by.
But not all the way true. Just with the NFL side of things, we will have UFL.
I gotta get my merch.
City. I gotta get my merch too. I need a hat and a pullover or something, or at least like a T-shirt for when it gets warm out. We mentioned yesterday, Air debuted the 3-man front where Matt Childress is going to host, and I'll be co-hosting and producing for him the new Louisville Kings UFL radio show right here in the Big X. We're going to be betting on the Kings or betting all UFL games pretty heavily. We're going to do some watch-alongs. We'll try to get Mr. Philly Picks on as well, just to do a little bit of live betting with us, get a little bit of a Ticket Puncher collab going on with those live streams as well. So we're excited to announce that. But the NFL side of things, the football we all love and care about, wrapping up here just a little bit, Philly. It's exciting to know this. We're going to get the matchup for the Super Bowl this weekend. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
But without further ado, Philly, let's go punch those tickets.
Punch those tickets, brother.